Welcome back to our channel, and thank you for taking the time to hang with us today. We are preparing for a 6-month road trip, and we wanted to share with you the things we do to prepare. We are full-time RVers, but full-time travelers. We also travel by plane and ship, so we're not always on the road. In the winter, we travel usually outside the country. We put our RV in storage, and in the summer, we hit the road. So we wanted to share some tips with you, what we do before we hit the road. Follow us, The Adventures of C&C. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss our future videos.
Taking my chances along with my dreams.
When we travel outside the country and we keep our RV in storage, it's in a wooded area, and what we have discovered to be very helpful are mothballs. So I put the mothballs all under the coach, all around, and I also put some into the bins. And we have discovered that when we get back, we don't have the little critters and spiders and stuff like that. It has worked really, really well. What we also do when we travel is we put our slides in just in case there's any kind of storms or anything. We don't have to worry about anything. The only thing that we remain hooked up to is electricity. We disconnect the sewer and the water just in case there's any water issues. The only thing is electricity that we remain hooked up to. So these are some tips for outside when we put it in storage. Now I'm going to give you some tips what I do on the inside when we keep it in storage. I know it's no secret or surprise that living in an RV, you must be a minimalist because you have limited space, right? Well, I came from a small island in the Caribbean, a little remote island where we didn't have like big box stores. We didn't accumulate a lot of stuff, and there was no online ordering back then. So I was not used to having a lot of stuff. And I discovered early on in life that I prefer adventure and travel, and doing stuff brought me a lot more joy than buying stuff. I prefer doing than buying. I must say, when I came to this country, I did really like to go shopping though. I would spend hours and hours into the stores. I didn't like online ordering because we didn't have a lot of stores back home, so I like seeing things and touching them and trying them on, but I'm totally over that now. And now it's all about the online ordering, which I must admit is super convenient, and we order like from Amazon all the time. But what we wanted to share with you today is we live full-time in an RV. We travel full-time, and in the winter we travel a lot outside the country, as I was sharing with you when we prepare our RV, when we put it into storage. But when we plan a road trip, these are the things we do. The first thing we do is make sure and do the maintenance onto the RV. Anything we need, like an oil change. So we discovered that we had a problem with our generator, and we needed to get that fixed before we hit the road. So we had somebody come out, a remote generator repair person, who couldn't figure out what the problem was. And my nephew, who is a diesel mechanic engineer, he advised to take it to Cummins, the dealer. We are at the Cummins dealership because our generator isn't working. So we are hoping that we can get it fixed and that we don't have to replace it. Keeping our fingers crossed. And we were at the time parked in Palm City. Cummins was right there into West Palm Beach. So we made an appointment. We went down and we spent like all day. They worked onto it. They took it out and discovered that something had burnt inside the RV, inside the generator. It was unfortunate because it was a big ticket item, and what we did was we left the generator behind. They took it out, we left it behind, and we were going on a cruise at the time, and we went back. When we came back, and we are heading out to go pick up our generator. It's been in the shop at Cummins for a few weeks, being fixed, and we are going to pick it up because we are getting ready for a long road trip. Parts and fixed it. Again, we spent like all day in there because this is our home. Remember, this is our home. So when this goes in the shop, we go in the shop, or we have to make other arrangements. But since I work remotely, I could work from their customer service office, just like I work from my office here. So it all worked out. But like $5,000 later, our generator is working. So just like a home, a house, you have maintenance. And our house on wheels, just remember, this moves all the time. So things happen. We're hooked up to different electricities all over the place. And we're not sure how, where, why that happened, but it happened. We didn't have a lot of hours on our generator, so it was a little bit unusual that something like this happened. But a new generator would have cost us like $14,000. So we were happy that $5,000, our generator is working and fixed. What we did when we were at Cummins, we also had the oil change into the RV. This I would not recommend to do at the Cummins dealership, because last year when we had the RV oil change, we did it at a truck stop in Fort Pierce, and it cost about $400. Well, at Cummins it cost like $800. It was twice the price. We didn't ask the price, we just asked if they could do it. They did give us $100 discount when my hubby told them what we had paid the year before. So yes, if you go into the Cummins dealership for your generator, that's a great idea, but do not get an oil change for your RV, because that didn't make any sense. But we were there, it was convenient. So I guess at the end of the day, we paid for the convenience. Now we are planning a 6-month road trip. I am a map person, so a paper map I should say. My hubby is all techie, and I'm still into paper. So we are planning to go to the Great Lakes, and we're starting in Port St. Lucie. We're going first to Claremont, then Ocala, the Destin area, and then we're not sure exactly where our stops will be, but we will head up towards the Great Lakes. From the Great Lakes, we're going to go over to Niagara. I want to see Niagara from the American side and the Canadian side. Then the plan is to go up to Maine and spend some time in Maine, work our way down through the Vermont and New Hampshire and Massachusetts and all these states, and then we come back down to Florida before it gets cold. So like in the fall, we'll work our way back down. So we had to prepare before a 6-month road trip, because we don't want to like have to look stop in one place, look for maintenance people and all those types of things. But when we got to our first stop into Claremont, where we were staying for 2 weeks so that we could visit with my mother-in-law, my hubby's mom, who lives into the area, we sprung a leak. I had a jug of water onto the floor right next to the refrigerator, and I thought that the jug was leaking. But then I realized there was a lot of water. It definitely wasn't the jug. So we realized it was cold, the carpet was all wet, and when I went outside, there was a slow drip under the RV. So we realized that the leak was coming from the refrigerator. So here's our first week on the road after we're all prepared, and now we have this issue. But the park we were into, Thousand Trails, Clearbrook RV and Gulf Resort, they had recommendations onto RV repair people, and my hubby called someone. He came out, he was awesome, and plus my stepson was here at the time, so he was able to help the repair guy take out the fridge, because it was a real pain. It was like 2 screws kind of holding it in place. Everything into the RV has to be really in place because of the movement all the time. So they got the fridge out, and there was no leak in the line behind the fridge. I think the repair guy was a little surprised too. So we found out, because I said underneath it was coming from where we have a cabinet. So the leak was coming underneath from that cabinet. He took out the bottom of the the cabinet right next to the fridge and discovered all the water lines were in there, and it was a tiny little line this big had sprung a leak. Now, a few weeks into this, my husband was thinking about this, and he thought the difference in water pressure had probably caused this, because the water pressure was really good in that part and probably caused that to spring a leak. But it was only this big, and it caused like water flooding all the time. It was crazy, but thank goodness he got that fixed. And while he was here, I had him check a few other things for me. My washer isn't working and I miss it terribly. It has an error message, and I've drained it before, because sometimes it gets, and I have forgot about this, sometimes something gets clogged inside and it's an easy fix. But this time we tried that. We drained it, my stepson and I, we drained it. So,
there you go, I got it.
You got it? Mm-hmm. Don't worry. So here's the do it. So hopefully it's not like more water than I can handle here. Don't worry, Carla's got it.
Oh.
Here it goes. So this is the do-it-yourself way. Oh, wait, shit. I mean, shucks. Woo! Yeah, they said to use a shop vac. Well, if you don't have a shop vac, you make a funnel. And guess what? It works.
Sure is.
So I drained out the water from inside with a cup, but it's still somewhere in the lines, right? Oh, it's a lot more than I thought. So now we're going to take the filter out and see what the culprit is. And I don't see anything blocking it. But we'll get a light. And this time it wasn't that problem. The drain was clean, there was nothing in there. So now we need to take out the washer and dryer, which is a pain because it's in the bathroom in a small area. So for now I'm just doing laundry into the RV park wherever we are. I'll do our laundry for now until we get to a place where we can take out the washer and dryer and just get the drain unclogged. But I wanted to share with you that in an RV you have maintenance just like a house, and sometimes even more maintenance because we move all the time. And I highly recommend, before you plan, if you do like us, if you travel outside the country and you leave the RV sitting for a while, before you plan to leave with your RV, make sure everything works, because when we checked our generator, it was not working. And thank goodness we had enough time to take this in, because this process took a few weeks to get this repaired, because along the road we really need our generator. And especially now when it's so hot into the summer when we're driving, now that the generator is fixed, when we were heading to Orlando, my hubby had a generator running with the air conditions, and it was such a difference than when we drive without the air conditioner on, without the generator on. So that was really, really super helpful. So I hope that our tips, our travel tips, can help you as well. And we are on the road for the next 6 months. So follow us on our journey up to the Great Lakes, over to Maine, all around the East Coast, and see if we can share some tips and tricks with you. Places that we visit, things we do, things we see. If you find our videos helpful or entertaining, we encourage you to subscribe, hit the like button, and continue the adventures of C&C. Life on the move. After being on the Treasure Coast since December 1st, we are heading out of Palm City up to Orlando for a couple weeks, and then we are heading out to Florida on a big road trip. Follow us for more, the adventures of C&C. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and that notification bell. Let's just test the sound and the look first. Make sure you're not like all washed out and stuff like that, and that you're not too loud, not too soft, not too boring, not too this, not too that, blah 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 blah.
3,